Hello, we are here and we are going to cover a little bit of a more recent story. Amy reached out after she saw this episode on Dateline a couple days ago because it's a new release and it's about the Bryan Kohberger story with the four college kids in Idaho that were killed in 2022. So, the timing is coming up here pretty soon. The I think jury selection, yeah, starts in July, and the trial is supposed to start in August, mid-August. So it's not that far away. I'm sure not everyone knows the story, so we just kind of wanted to talk about it and get everybody caught up, especially with that new Dateline that just came out. All right, so as usual, we're giving disclaimers. These are just our opinions. We are going off of internet research and the Dateline episode. So, we're gonna cover what we found and yeah, give our opinions on what we think at the end, as we usually do. And we always like to highlight victims first. We're always going to do that. So, the actual date of the murder, it was November 13th, 2022, so a couple of years ago. There were six kids, I call them kids, the early 20s, living in the house, and four of them, unfortunately, were murdered, and two of them were not. So I'll give you their names: Maddie, 21, Ethan, 20, Xana, 20, and Kaylee, 21. Those were the four victims. And then Dylan and Bethany, also both females, they were not murdered. They got very lucky. And I'm sure whenever I watch these stories and this kind of thing happens, I mean, I don't know. They didn't talk about this, and none of these people were interviewed or their parents, Bethany or Dylan. So I'm just guessing. There's got to be a really horrible level of guilt when you're a survivor and your friends were not, you know?
Oh my goodness. Like I was thinking about the way they didn't call right away. They were confused and they were just getting a hold trying to get a hold of Maddie. Well, you gotta understand they had a lot to drink before. So they weren't completely in their right minds to begin with. And
Yeah,
I just I can't imagine.
right. And not only that, why would you ever suspect that that's what happened, you know? So I just I always think about survivors' guilt in
Imagine what they
situations.
feel. Like
Yeah.
we could have just went up there. But they didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what's going through their heads and bless their hearts.
Oh, the trauma and the PTSD and all of it must be horrendous.
Oh, it's traumatic. All of
Yeah.
this is just pure traumatic.
Yeah. So now that we've talked about them and, they were all college kids in their early 20s and they all seemed full of life and beautiful and they were all living their best lives together in this house. And yeah, I hate getting into the part where we talk about the bad guy, but obviously we have to talk about him.
Yeah.
So he grew up in Pennsylvania. He was awkward with girls, had low self-esteem. When he got into his mid to late 20s, he had lost a lot of weight. And they also said that he overcame a heroin addiction. He became vegan, started taking more care of himself. And he was going into or had already started studying criminology. He was a really good student, got good grades, and he had at that point finished his master's and was going to start going into a PhD program. Around that same time, he had gone on Amazon, and this will make more sense at the end, but we're going in order of the timeline. So it seems a little out of place, but it's not because it happened at that time when he was going into his PhD program. He purchased a very specific knife on Amazon at that time. So that'll come up later. Remember that. And around July, early July, I think it was 9th, there was a pool party that Bryan had been invited to because he had just moved into this new building and obviously, he wants to try and see if he can make some friends. He goes to this pool party. He's awkward, as one would suspect. And he met a couple people, a couple guys that kind of were like, this guy's a little weird. He met this girl, Holly. She, it seemed like she didn't say it exactly, but it seemed like she kind of felt sorry for him.
Right.
He's clearly doesn't have any friends. She was clearly an empathetic person. They talk for a little while and she tells him about this hiking group that she belongs to, and they exchange phone numbers. Holly's lucky, by the way.
Very
Just,
much so.
right? Just throwing that out there. Around this time, he started Googling things about Ted Bundy and other serial killers, which I mean, he is in criminology, so that kind of plays a factor in some of these Google searches of being able to say, oh, this was because of
Hmm.
school, or this was because he's a serial killer, potentially. So he's starting to Google weird things. And in August, mid-August, and then again September 1st, he was oh no, that house that those six kids were living in. I'm going to keep referring to them as kids because to me they are. I know they're
They
not,
are.
but yeah,
They just got started. Yeah, they were still little kids. I
exactly.
remember being at that age.
Yeah. So those six kids were living
Hmm.
in this house. They got a couple of noise complaints called in. Now, the first one, it was just during the day. It seemed kind of off, like, why is this happening? The second one was even more off. It was at night. However, none of the residents were even home at the time. So it's a little suspicious that they were getting these noise complaints. And one of the theories that Dateline had said was potentially, since there was a lot of chaos going on while the cops are there and trying to figure out what's happening, possibly someone could have snuck in really fast and looked around the house and then left. I guess it's plausible. I mean, it seems far-fetched, but who knows? Especially someone with a criminology degree. At the same time, he at one point got a ticket driving around that area. He's definitely around, but he lives in Washington, several miles away and not close. It's not like he'd be driving through there just for funsies every day. You know what I mean?
On his
Uh,
way home. Right.
yeah, no, that's not what was happening. So his cell phone starts pinging around their house regularly. After that first ticket, they found a Google search that said, when can a cop detain you? So he was definitely questioning now that he's starting to get seen in the area by the cops. And he's also oddly starting to Google things like passed out, drugged, forced, just like weird things in relation to something that you would do to a female mostly. Around the same time, he became a teaching assistant. And it did not go well, which again, not surprising by someone like this. He had issues with a lot of the women that were either his colleagues or that he was, teaching. Not only was it women, but there was a particular professor that they had mentioned, and it was a female. They got into an argument. And I don't know, they mentioned that English wasn't her first language, so I don't know if I'm not exactly sure why that was important to the story. I don't know if that was insinuating maybe she couldn't argue back because, like, maybe he picked on her because she couldn't put up a good argument or something. I don't know. It was just something they mentioned, so I thought I should mention it. And then a month into this PhD program, again, not going well. None of the undergraduates liked him. He was getting in some more arguments with the professors. And the dean at the end of September asked to meet with him to discuss, quote unquote, norms of professional behavior. So that they didn't explain what that meant, but it's kind of self-explanatory. Conduct yourself in a way that isn't argumentative, combative, negative, all of that kind of thing, I'm sure. Again, I'm just guessing. And so things were going as you would suspect from this person, but not going well. So with his mental state, there's no way that all of that wasn't helping.
And I mean, think about all the things that you just said, put it in a ball, and add it together with his what he's going to school for, what his degree is. That's just makeup for disaster.
Yep.
That is, it's pretty, yeah, that's totally scary. Now, part while he was still there, he did get into a relationship, friendship. It was kind of hard to really understand what was going on between him and this Korean girl. Now, I'm gonna kind of guess that they wasn't romantically involved because, they didn't, it kind of just said that they didn't have any sexual contact, I guess is what I'm going to say. Didn't seem like they were much more than friends. September 10th, someone broke into her house and they did a lot of strange things. She had some food sitting out that she was planning to throw away. That food was actually moved away in her house. So she automatically noticed that when she come in. And what I thought was really, really strange, someone had went into her bathroom and took some of her belongings that were out and ranged them on her toilet. That is extremely, yeah, that's really creepy. And I would have been really stressed out when I seen that. Now, with all the strange things that were going on there, the food miss or moved around the house and the stuff arranged on the toilet, nothing else was missing except for a watch and a personal letter. And when we get to that, Brian knew about both of those, which I thought was, of course, we're going to start putting things together by this point. Now she goes and she stays with Brian because she feels safe there. So she goes and stays the night there. This was the time that they did mention that there wasn't anything sexual. This was just a place for her to feel safe. Now she says that her spare key at her apartment was missing. They did share an office. She asked him about it. He said that he hadn't seen it. He didn't know where it was. And kind of funny, later that afternoon, it shows back up right in the drawer where it was supposed to be. Now, she has him install the security cameras in her house, which by this time she was feeling safe, of course, safe enough to go to his apartment when she was concerned to stay at her own. But during a little bit later, she does kind of start to wonder if possibly Brian did have access to the video that was in her house. Maybe could she see him when she was going about her afternoon, night, morning, whenever she was home? That is scary. Now, one of the photos in his phone, he did have a lot of photos of girls that was very, very creepy. That was some of the girls that were living in the house. So he was obviously watching these girls, and that you just don't know. At one point, like they were saying, they were making TikToks and other videos in the same house that they were going to lose their life in. That is horrible. So, another thing now that this popped in my head, could the killer have learned the layout of the house through their social media videos?
Yeah, it did
I
say
didn't
they
think about
posted a
that.
lot.
Hmm. They did. So I thought about that. Yeah, I just wasn't thinking about that till now. And September 30th, he Googles psychopathic traits in college student. Now, in the first 2 weeks of October, it's kind of strange and kind of hard to explain. What can he say that he was doing to explain why he was around their house several times during that time frame? It was found on his phone, and you can't deny when your phone pings. October 14th, he was pulled over again for running a red light. October 19th, Google's Can Psychopaths Behave Socially? Another that's strange, but again, like Dawn said, that possibly could have just tied to school, maybe a paper, anything like that. He kept Googling his own name. I thought that was extremely weird because, from what I could tell, it didn't seem like of course, he was a good student, but it didn't seem like he was doing anything in his after hours to be noted for. So I thought that was kind of strange. November 2nd, meeting to discuss improvement plan at school due to an altercation with a female. He had to go to that meeting. Then he makes another stop by the murder house, which totaled 23 times in 4 months. And they're all after dark. I remember how Don said he's not even from there, so it's not like he was passing through on his way home. That, yeah, very strange. Then he starts trying to clear his computer. Why are you clearing your computer, Brian? Now, November 12th, Kaylee posts pics of all them on Instagram that night. Ethan and Xana went to a party. Kaylee and Maddie, they went to a local bar and then went to get food around 1:45. This was caught on camera. You are able to see them standing at the food truck getting their food. They all arrive home around 2 a.m. 2:26, phone calls were made from both phones. 2:54 a.m., Brian's phone, it's turned off. 3:26 a.m., the white car is spotted near. 3:30 a.m., the white car goes towards the house.
And keeps going around and around. I forget. I don't actually think they said how many times, but it circled, I think at least 3 or 4 times that I
Four,
remember.
I'm gonna say some, yeah.
Yeah. So why would a car be doing that other than what happens next? Around 4 a.m., everyone else, they believe they were all in their rooms sleeping or at least not out being active. They weren't in the common areas. So whether or not they were all sleeping, I don't know, but they were at least all in their rooms except for Xana. And they know this about Xana being awake because she at 4 a.m. received a DoorDash order. Now, at 4:06 a.m., there's a car, the same white car that they had seen 23 times, and it's going around, and they see it several times. It U-turns, and something that they talked about in the Dateline episode was that they thought maybe this, U-turning and circling and all that was the killer questioning what they were about to do. Maybe the killer was convinced, okay, I'm going to do this, but was kind of running over the plan in their head. They don't know, but for whatever reason, that person kept going around and then all of a sudden stopped and U-turned and went quickly towards the house at 4:07 a.m. So who knows? We're never going to know what was going through that person's mind, but maybe they were reconsidering, maybe they were just really adamant and knew what they were going to do and just were finalizing it in their head just at the last minute. I don't know. Again, we'll never know. But so the
They'll never
killer,
tell.
heck no. No, it's unfortunate. And sometimes in the end, every once in a while you'll get one that will give their story, but it's way, way after the fact. So even if we do
Yeah,
know, it's going to be a while.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope
Yeah.
that for the family's sake, maybe. In the least, we could get an honest answer in the end.
Yeah. Well, so unfortunately, the kitchen door was unlocked, so that is how the killer went into the house. And this is just what they think happened given, the crime scene and interviewing the two girls who were not killed. So this is kind of expert opinion on exactly what happened in that house. They think that the killer went to Maddie's bedroom first. And the theory that they think is that because that's where the killer went first, this whole thing was probably about an obsession or something to do with Maddie. It's unfortunate, but that's
And
what they think.
yeah, can you imagine Kaylee? She had already moved out and sadly was there that weekend to show Maddie her car. She was proud of it. It was a new car and she wanted to show it off. So she was just staying the weekend there. They had been friends since grade school. So I'm sure that this weekend was a big deal. They were going to get together, probably go take a spin in the new car and have a girls' weekend. So that just breaks my heart, especially for the parents.
Yeah. And so I'm sure this caught the killer off guard because when they went into Maddie's room, Kaylee was in there sleeping in the bed as well. And there was definitely a struggle that happened in there. And unfortunately, both girls were stabbed. And then Xana went to go look because she heard some commotion. And he chased her into her room where Ethan was sleeping. And the part that sucks is all of these kids had been drinking. And so I think they believe that Ethan was passed out and probably just didn't even hear what was going on with his girlfriend. So unfortunately, they were both stabbed and killed as well. I forgot one important part about the knife. When they started running and Xana was running and he went to chase after her, in Maddie's bed, they found the sheath of a knife. That's going to come
Thank
up
goodness.
again shortly. But yeah, that is a very key piece of evidence
Hmm.
that we'll talk about here in a little bit again. So, unfortunately, now we have four people who've been stabbed to death. And I don't know why, and they didn't go into this in a lot of detail, but it said that he carved into Ethan's lower legs. And they said that they kind of felt like that made it more so feel like some type of man woman power struggle. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like obsession. Why is there a guy in the house kind of
Like the
situation?
kind of girl that I could never have. So
Right.
I'm gonna harm you, hurt you more. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Demented.
again, it's hard to know. That's just expert opinion of why he would do something like that. And it makes sense. So then Dylan, who's in her room, she hears these noises as well. She opens up her bedroom door and she sees a male and hears something like, and this is in a quote, "It's okay, I am going to help you." And then she reports later that he was in black clothing. He had a mask that covered his nose and his mouth. He was 5'10" or taller, bushy eyebrows, not muscular, but like a maybe a little bit more of an athletic build. And the killer walked by her and she locked herself in her room. So at 4:20, so this is about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so past the time when the car headed in the direction of the house. The car speeds off away from the house and it went so fast that they actually almost hit someone. Dylan, who again is locked in her room, starts calling her roommates. Obviously, no one's answering. Bethany is up and she's also calling roommates who are not answering. They end up texting each other, and Bethany's like, come run as fast as you can, come to my room. So Dylan runs to Bethany's room, and in the process, she notices that Xana is laying on the floor of the bedroom, but she just assumes, oh, she's passed
She's
out.
passed out.
Yeah, because they were all drinking. So, and again, back to what we said in the beginning, who would ever think what happened happened? So that's completely valid. Of course, you think she's passed out from drinking.
I'm
All
just
right.
confused though. There was a lot of blood. I was watching another show. I can't remember which one it was this morning, but there was so much blood that it ran. There's pictures of it and video of it running on the outside of the house down the brick.
I know, but this is right after it happened. And you got to remember, Dylan and Bethany are drunk too,
True, true.
you know?
They still have it sobered up because you're at what, 4:30 in the morning. Yeah,
And
you're
yeah, it's the
correct.
middle of the night. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So at 4:48 a.m., cell phone is turned back on outside of the city, moving west. And by 5:40 a.m., it hits back in Washington, which is where he lives. That morning, he calls his family in Pennsylvania several times. One of those calls lasted almost an hour. Who knows what they were talking about, but they didn't really get into that. And then fast forward to 7:30 a.m., Bethany calls her dad. They're still texting all the roommates. Obviously, no one's answering. Then after 9 a.m., this is weird. This is where I things start getting really odd. Around 9 a.m., he drives past that house. His cell phone pings there, and then he returns home. And then when he gets home around 10:30 a.m., he takes a selfie in his bathroom mirror with a thumbs up smiling. Definitely not
And I
normal.
don't think it's weird that he went back. He
You
wanted to see
don't?
what was going on.
Yeah.
No, it's an easy way to see what's going on. Have they called the cops yet? Have they been there? Do they know anyone? What I've done? Yeah, let's see what's going on. I don't. I'd make a lot of sense out of that. That really does. Yeah.
It's ballsy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but you also see a lot of murderers who will take stuff from there. They will return to the site, especially if they have buried someone out in a place. They sometimes they return.
Yeah.
It is ballsy, but
It is. And I just feel like there's too much risk right after it happened. But, he got lucky and no one had called the cops. So it was a
well,
ballsy
wait a
move.
minute.
Yeah.
Do you think possibly he had anxiety and was anxious and so he couldn't help but return? Because the drive in to and from and then the U-turn, was he maybe dealing with like the cops had thought whether he was going to actually do it or not? Maybe this dude, maybe Brian has anxiety.
We need a doctor. Do sociopaths get anxious? I don't know.
I don't know either. That is a good. You want me to Google it?
Sure. I'll keep I'll keep going while you check on that.
Let me see. I will look it. You keep going.
Okay. And then an hour after he takes that selfie, approximately, his phone hits outside of his area and they're wondering if he was hiding evidence, maybe his clothes, because obviously what he did, there was a lot of blood, like Amy said. So maybe that's what he was doing an hour after. Dylan at 11:30 a.m. So now we're talking 7 hours after this incident. Dylan asks her friend to come over and asks her to have her boyfriend come. So they get there. All four of them go upstairs. Of course, they see Xana again. And now she's like in shock. How is she still laying in the same position? They didn't say exactly what the boyfriend saw, but at that point, they said he looked white and told them to get out of the house and call 911. So he obviously saw something. They weren't specific and didn't say what. But so at that point, 11:56 a.m. Bethany calls 911 and tells them that the roommate is passed out and won't wake up because they still don't know what that boyfriend saw. They just know he said call 911. So they still, Bethany and Dylan, don't know what happened even when they called 911 at almost 12 o'clock now, which
That
fine.
it, these poor children. That's
Like they're never gonna be okay, you know?
Well, they're at the part of their life. It's supposed to be the best times of your life. You're learning about yourself, you're with your friends, you're having a good time. So
Yeah.
to have something like this happen right in the middle of it, even to be the one that you maybe he didn't experience, but he saw what he saw when he went in that room. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And Google, yes, it I didn't know this, but there's different levels of psychopathy, primary and secondary.
This
If you
person is primary
experience, oh,
for sure, right?
well, I don't know. If it's primary, they tend to show lower trait of anxiety, aligning with the traditional stereotype. But if you're secondary, you're prone to high anxiety. So it just depends what level we're dealing with here.
So it is
Again, we need a
possible.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was worth the Google search for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So, okay, they've done the 911 call and now we're to, yeah, page
Yeah,
4.
Brian, he's back on Google himself and he's searching about the killing, Bundy, and there's also other searches about the knife, just like the one that was used. He is looking to get the sheath again. He puts it in his cart, he takes it out, puts it in. I think there was a little bit of, wait, okay, now that I'm saying that, he's decisive. Because do you notice all the looking back and forth about the sheaf? How decisive he was about purchasing it at that point. So, I mean, maybe it all just goes into not anxiety, maybe indecisive. It's hard to make the choices or make his mind up.
But if he bought that type of knife and he now
Mhm.
feels like he succeeded in this murder, right? And he's
You need the
looking,
sheaf to go with it, but still.
well, and we don't know, he probably got rid of that knife because why would you keep evidence like that, right?
Mhm.
So if he's looking for the exact same knife, it would make you think that he felt very successful in what he did and that that's going to be his preferred method, probably.
Yeah, that they said that as well. Maybe preparing for the next one because he was doing a lot of searches on Ted Bundy. And I know I'm getting off topic here, but I do agree with the officers as well about Maddie possibly being the main target. I'm not even sure if Xana and her boyfriend or Kaylee would have been murdered if circumstances hadn't worked out the way they had. He goes straight from downstairs all the way up to Maddie's room, which was on the third floor. Straight there. If he'd have went to her room, she was the only one in the bed. She was the only one sleeping there. He stabbed her, did it, whatever he was planning to do with that knife. He could have easily, silently slipped back through that door, and no one would have ever known. They would have just woke up and went into her room, and she was laying there, sadly, violently murdered.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Again, it's something we're never going to know.
No, but I don't know everything. It's kind of starting as you kind of think through it more after watching it and sitting here talking with you. It does make a little more sense as why they come to those conclusions, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's wild, especially like trying to get the exact same knife. What were you gonna do with that, Brian? Um, he saved reporting info and his phone, and more than 60 times he was watching YouTube videos on serial killers. Again, we know he focused really big on Ted Bundy. Now, Brian also went as far as to switch his plates from Pennsylvania to Washington. He tries to delete his Amazon search history. That was a really, really crazy thing. Why are you trying to delete that? But then again, here you are trying to look at the same kind of knife that was used as a murder weapon. Now, there's no hits on the knife DNA. They used another service. It's not supposed to be used. Generally, it's just not. They don't go into the DNA into like ancestry DNA, I should say. But this isn't actually law. So the FBI was able to move forward and use my heritage. It's kind of suggested that they don't use it, but like I said, it's not totally the law. So you can kind of walk around that when it kind of suits you. Um, DNA hits to Brian. I'm glad they used it because it was easy to track down. Okay, well, we're looking at this family. And then they can kind of look more into who's in that family. And you have Brian, everything starts making a lot of sense. Brian goes home to Pennsylvania and his dad starts wondering if it possibly could be him. Family says he's acting weird, sorting garbage. He's wearing gloves whenever he takes things outside, especially like trash or handling anything that I guess you would say possibly the cops could have the chance to take from the outside legally. His sister tells dad that she thinks he could be involved as well. They're really starting to question. The police stopping him and his dad in Indiana for bad driving. He was following too closely. It was on that same trip, a little bit down the road. That happened again. So, two times he was stopped for following too closely. All of the glove wearing and the trying to hide his fingerprints and DNA did not work. The police grab his trash, and in it, they are able to match the DNA to his father. And that was from the sheath that was left at the scene. They caught it on the little piece where it unbuttoned, where you could take the knife out. And a while ago, I said there was no DNA found on the knife. I didn't mean to say that. We're still dealing with the sheath. Remember, we didn't have the knife, just the sheath that was left laying in Maddie's bed. End of December, the police get him at his parents' house, and he is charged with 4 counts of murder, 1 count of burglary. I can't say that word right.
Burglary.
Burger, burger. You know what I'm getting ready to say. Thank you, Don. You said it for me. He could face the death penalty if he is convicted, and let's hope that he is convicted. I don't know. We're going to get into that. Now, his attorney is trying to get the sheath DNA dismissed. He said because it wasn't legal, but the judge will allow it to be in the case. How is it not legal? Are they saying that they obtained it illegally? Is that what they're trying to say?
No, they're saying because it's the My Heritage thing that it shouldn't
Well,
be
got you.
admissible.
Okay. Somehow I missed that part. Well, okay, it's not, it's, that's where they could still walk around it because remember, it's not against the law. It's just not recommended that you do so. So they could still do it. Now, they are also claiming his defense that there is an alternate suspect. Um, where is your alternate suspect? I mean, let's hear it. If there is someone that did it and Brian didn't do it, then of course, by all means, let's look that way. Don't you
I,
agree?
well, yeah, but I think it's newer information, maybe, or it's confidential. If I don't know, they didn't really elaborate, so that's
Really?
why I think it's newer information.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's something they're going to get into during the trial. I mean, but if there is someone that you can prove that is a better suspect than Brian, I'm all for hearing it. But right now, it kind of seems like Brian, my friend, shame on you. Now, we did watch this on Dateline, like I said, but there is also Max. You can watch the Idaho College murders. That one is a pretty good one. It's also, we've discussed Max several times on here. And whenever you watch Max, I feel like you get a good show. They put
Okay.
out good content.
Yeah. All right. I already know what you think, but tell me, did he do it?
Yeah. What happened in his earlier years, though? I feel like I, I'm not sympathizing with him, but I feel like something's wrong.
Well, and you know what else they didn't cover that I'm really curious and I need to look up? How did he grow up? Was his upbringing
Right.
totally normal?
Right. How was his relationship with his mother? There's a lot of things that I would also like to know. And I'm not trying to sympathize with him at all. I'm just trying to understand, like, who hurt you? Because if you can go into a place and let's just pretend like, okay, let's take it back to when he was making his plan or he was deciding what he was going to do. Who hurt you or what is wrong to make you want to go into someone's home in the middle of the night while they're sleeping and attack them when they're at their most vulnerable?
Yeah, I'll be curious too when the case comes out to learn more about that month in December, that just kind of what developed with his dad and his sister to make them suspicious. I'm curious about that as well. And if they ever said anything to anyone else about him. Did they ever talk to the police? I don't know. They didn't really talk about that.
I agree. Yeah, and I would like to know how his relationship was with his sister. Like, was this a shock when she come to that conclusion, or was it just kind of like, well, Brian's weird anyways. I've always seen something strange in him, and maybe he did do this. Yeah, I'd like to know, and maybe is something that we have just missed. I'm not sure, but I feel like Dateline did an amazing job of keeping on track while also educating someone who has not known about the case or the trial.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Sometimes I don't even know what to say. Like these kids, and again, they're kids, just the part about the middle of the night, I think is maybe the most disturbing part of the whole thing because these people are sleeping,
Mm.
you know? I mean, obviously one of them wasn't, but coming in while someone's sleeping, I feel like really just is the most amount of weird rage. You know what I mean? No one's currently, you're not in a situation where you had an altercation. This was premeditated. This was in the middle of the night when no one's around you. No one pissed you off in the moment. You did this with a clear conscience while people were sleeping. And I think that is probably the most disturbing part for me.
It's ballsy as hell.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're walking into when you walk into a home in the dark in the middle of the night.
I know, but if he went straight to Maddie's room,
He knew where it was.
that theory that maybe he called those noise complaints when there wasn't even noise to slip in and slip out really fast. Because if the person did beeline to her room, there's no other way for them to have known that. I mean, I guess maybe from social media, like you said, but
You
unless,
still have to know how to get there. And
yeah.
yeah.
And maybe they did. Who knows? Maybe one of them had a video where they walked up their stairs to their room. I mean, maybe it's possible. I'm not saying that couldn't have happened because it could. I don't
Well,
know.
he could have also maybe remember if you go back to the mother saying that she had been there when somebody would show up to the party that wasn't welcomed. Who's to say he didn't show up there?
Right.
Maybe he knew how to get through because he'd been there long enough to maybe make it through the house and they found him, kicked him out, and it pissed him off.
I know. I feel like he would have stood out though as being
Older,
a
yeah.
little older, but maybe
And
not.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, well, let's go back. He did make it to that one party.
At the
And
pool,
remember the
yeah.
guys, they thought that he was kind of awkward, but I remember in the show the one dude was like, "Okay, well maybe he's not so bad. He's over there getting chicks, you know?"
Yeah.
So he's strange and awkward and not the proper age, but still was able to fit in long enough at that party to get a girl's phone number.
Yeah. I think for me, 100%, I think he did it. Not 99,
Mm,
100. And it's not even just about the weird searches online because that's almost impossible to prove because of the type of schooling he was in, right?
hmm
It's more about the driving around. Why is your phone pinging 23 times by their house? I think of all the evidence, that probably stands out to me the most of proof that he was stalking them or something.
I agree. You were around there too much, man.
Way too much.
Mm.
So I think he saw probably Maddie online on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, became obsessed with her, kept driving around and seeing her more and more around, whether it was on social media or whether it was the 23 times that he drove by their house in a short few months. And that was that. I think his internal psychosis rage took over, and for whatever reason, that was what put him over the edge. Obviously, she didn't even know him. It's nothing that anyone did. It's just his bad brain. And he became obsessed, and that was that. And the rest of them, unfortunately, were just in the same house. And why he walked by Dylan, I don't know. Maybe he was exhausted. I mean, honestly, maybe it was literally just that. Maybe he was like, I can't do another fight. I don't know.
Or
But
either he'd done what he was there to do.
yeah. So
I don't know.
there are just too many drive-bys in the area. The whole driving back by the house at 9 o'clock that morning and
Hmm
seeing no police activity and going home and taking a picture of yourself in a mirror with a thumbs up. It's just, it's not coincidental to me.
And I liked how the officer noticed, like before, his pictures were creepy. He looked depressed and dark and down, just like you would expect him to look awkward. And, you know, he just he didn't have any bit of self-confidence. But after these murders, after he goes back, and he sees, okay, well, maybe this is gonna be all right. He goes home with all the confidence in the world and takes that selfie.
It's bright.
Like,
He's got on a light colored button down shirt. He's
yes, he's
all
looks
like did his hair. Yeah.
he looked like he was taking a photo and sending it to his mother before he was getting ready to go to a job interview that he was excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those reasons, that's why I 100% think he did it. And I don't see how he doesn't get found guilty. I don't see how, but shit happens. You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like,
Sometimes jurors get it wrong.
sometimes jurors get it wrong, and
Mm,
sometimes balls get dropped during
yeah. True.
investigations, you know?
Or in the trial.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
we'll see. October, no, August 11th. is when it starts.
And I mean, I just really hope that they can put some closure to this case. It's not going to put closure to the families, but with this part closed, they can find a way to finally start grieving.
Yeah, and I'm glad they knocked that house down. It
Yes.
doesn't have any business staying up.
And can you imagine how bloody it was to have the blood running down the side of the house on the outside?
Yeah. I thought
That
that at the time. I was like, God, whatever happened in there was bad if you can see that on the outside.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
And Xana was killed on the second floor. We're going to talk about this. Xana was killed on the second floor, and Maddie and Kaylee, or Xana and what was his name?
Ethan, I think.
Ethan. Sorry. Xana and Ethan were killed on the second floor, and Maddie and Kaylee were killed up on the third floor
I forgot
and
to do
down
a graphic
toward.
warning. It's okay. At the
Sorry, yeah,
beginning.
this I'm getting a little bit graphic. But for them to be that far up and for blood to be found dripping down the base of the house, so that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably when I heard about the story, and I haven't, like I said in the beginning, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to this story for whatever reason. I don't know. But that was the one thing I remember from at the time when this
Mhm.
happened was what the outside of the house looked like.
A lot.
But yeah.
And thinking, I seen the diagram of the house. Where was that at? It was on the side of the house, wasn't it? The blood?
Oh, I don't remember.
I was trying to figure out who that would possibly be,
I don't
what room it
remember.
would be by. That just, it breaks my heart for those children. Those kids should have never had to experience that.
Yeah, and
Why are people so evil? I don't.
I don't know. I don't know. And they had interviews with Maddie's old boss and Maddie's best friend's mom. They were both on the
Mm,
Dateline episode, especially with a friend's mom. You can just tell it's
she was
still
loved.
2 years later so traumatic and probably always will be. And again, I know we talked about this twice, but the trauma that Dylan and Bethany are going to have forever is
Hmm.
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. I never want to say closure. You can close the case on this trial. He's guilty or what have you. But it's time for the family to be able to start healing themselves instead of worrying about justice.
I always think about that, even when there's a mass shooting, which happens like every day lately, I feel like. But the PTSD and the trauma that the people around and
Yes.
family and friends and other victims that didn't pass away, like it's not just about victims, it's
No.
about their extended network of people or people who were at the location when whatever happened. It's, and I just know for myself, even when I was held at gunpoint in an armed robbery a couple of years ago, there weren't even any gunshots. And I'm still like, I still struggle with that all the time. So, you know, I definitely always feel for the people who were in the area when
Mm.
stuff goes down.
Yeah, because it's traumatic and you don't know what any of those individuals have already seen in their life before that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah. I feel like when we end these episodes, I'm always like, okay, meet back here in a week after we just talked about this horribly depressing story. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what we're here to do. Maybe some of you have not heard about this case. Like Dawn, I've been kind of following it here and there and was like, hey, let's do this one. She hadn't heard of it. I was like, well, great, watch Dateline because it's going to catch you up. But I feel like I feel like these cases need to be talked about because you can't just live in this little small-minded world and think that everybody around you has the same intent and thinking that you do because they don't. There's a lot of negative and evil in this world. And let's just say, after all the true crime that I do watch and listen to, I definitely, when I'm out of the house or in the house, when I'm alone, I look at things totally different now. I watch my surroundings and I just now realize as I've got older what people are capable of, and they're not sweet and innocent like I feel like they should be. There's some people in this world that would be more than happy to hurt me.
We don't want people to be paranoid, but we want you to be cautious and safe.
And informed, yes.
Mhm.
Because you can't live in a world and think, well, nothing like that'll ever happen to me. Because you know what? Every one of these children, kids, teenagers, whatever you would like to refer to them as, they were just starting their life and they didn't think this would happen to them either.
Yeah, yeah. It sucks. Okay, well, me back here in a week. Not said as quite as lively as normal. Thanks,
No,
everyone.
we'll see you soon. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
There has been an update since Amy and I recorded this episode, so we wanted to include that. On July 2nd, 2025, Bryan Kohberger accepted a plea agreement, and his sentencing will be July 23rd, 2025. Victim impact statements will be able to be read then, which is probably traumatic and therapeutic at the same time. He pled guilty, and that removed the possibility of the death penalty. And so he is facing life without parole for each of the four victims, plus 10 years for burglary. And he cannot appeal, and he will never be eligible for parole. So his family made a statement asking for privacy and saying that they are not releasing any comments or taking any questions. And the families of the victims, so from what I've read online, they were sent an email a few days before this happened telling them that this was a possibility. And Kaylee's family has made some public statements saying that they told prosecutors that they were a hard no on any kind of deal. And the other families seem to have some mixed reactions from what I've read, but the consensus does seem to be that they feel like they were not treated well by the prosecutor's office, which to me sounds like trauma on top of horrible trauma. So we're definitely thinking about all of these families. This is a horrible situation and definitely an unexpected outcome because he was pretty adamant that he did not do this. And this took a very surprising turn. So we'll see what happens July 23rd. I am guessing since he pled guilty that he will get 4 counts of life without parole plus the 10 for burglary, but we'll see. You just never know. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you in a week.